Welcome to Sunday Night Stories. I'm Miss Andrea with Everett Public Library. Before I read tonight's story, I want to tell you a little bit about the author, Doreen Cronin. Doreen Cronin's first grade teacher, Mrs. Cooper, is the first person that told her she was a writer. She even gave her extra homework, but Doreen didn't mind because it was writing. Doreen also loves to spend time in the library. So do I. Don't you? Doreen kept going to school, and she actually went to law school and graduated from St. John's Law School. And she practiced law for a couple of years. But she decided that she really wanted to write. So she gave up that job, and she became a writer. Doreen Cronin writes every single day. Now, she'll tell you that she doesn't write well every single day. In fact, she thinks 90% of what she writes is horrible. So embarrassingly bad, terrible. Most of it won't see the light of day. But sometimes in that first, third, or even 18th draft of a story, there'll be something, a little spark, something worth investigating. That's her inspiration. Tonight's story, Clack Moo, Cows That Type, by Doreen Cronin, pictures by Betsy Lewin. I have permission to read this from the publisher Simon and Schuster. Click, clack, moo. Cows that type. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. At first, he could not believe his ears. Cows that type, impossible! Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Mr. Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. It was bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. They left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, click, clack, moo, clickety, clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed. No milk. No eggs. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown, and in the background he heard them. Click, clack, moo. Click, clack, moo. Clickety, clack, moo. Cows that type? Hens on strike? Who ever heard such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. Farmer Brown decided this was a good idea. He left the blankets. next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack. Click, clack, quack. Clickety, clack, quack. I am so glad Doreen Cronin kept at it to find her inspiration. What a fun story. Thank you for joining me tonight.